Good.
Ready to go. Thank you. Good afternoon. In accordance with sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. My name is Zahir Bryant and I'll be chairing today's session. Panel members are Larry Clay, Dino Lombardi, Peter Reed, and Ryan Bissonette. Secretary-Treasurer is Sabrina Salatino. We acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are now conducted in a hybrid in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will make their submissions in person, and others will participate virtually by electronic means through WebEx. The meetings are also streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who wish to participate virtually and have registered in advance will be connecting with a computer or telephone and have the option of participating via video or audio only. When your item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must fill out a decision request card, and those participating virtually need to submit a written request for decision by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto Local Appeal Body or, in some limited circumstances, to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and generally removed rights of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decisions. Only the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified persons and public bodies are permitted to appeal decisions of the Committee of Adjustment. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. Today I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant may proceed with their presentation if desired. When the committee does not require a presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions and/or take the matter into committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when you are reaching the 5 minutes. Any presentation or other materials you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept materials at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee on the application. Then individuals either in support or opposed to the application will be invited to speak. Generally, we first call on the speakers in the hearing room and then those participating through WebEx. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion. The application will then be taken into committee for a decision. Okay. And we begin this afternoon with item number 19. Item number 19 is 33, 37A, and 37B Parliament Street. The consent requested is to obtain consent to sever the property into 2 lots, retail lands and parking lands, with a stratified severance and to create various easements, rights of way within the 33 mixed-use building. Also to maintain existing easements, rights of way. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans and elevations, copy of draft revised plan of survey, covering letter from the agent, decision numbers affecting the subject property, email correspondence from the agent, arborist report, condominium declaration from the agent, and we also have staff reports from Metrolinx and Development Engineering Toronto. Okay.
Through the chair, we have the agent here in person and no registered speakers.
Hi, good afternoon. I hope you had a good lunch.
And you.
It's Mr. Peck, I take it.
That's correct, yeah. Tyler Peck, W&D Associates, 47 Roselawn Avenue.
Oh, thank you. I was going to ask for the name and address. Thanks so much. We don't have anybody in opposition, but I think it might help if we had a short presentation to
Okay, yeah, I'm happy to run through the
help us
presentation
understand.
slides that were provided.
Thank you. Whenever you're ready, you've got your 5
I'm just
minutes.
waiting for the
I'm
slides.
waiting
Yeah,
for the
thank you.
materials. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you. I'm Tyler Peck from W&D Associates with the planners and applicants for this application. There's an existing 33-story mixed-use building at 33 to 37 Parliament Streets in the Distillery District at Distillery Lane. This was constructed following approval of OPA, ZBA, site plan, minor variance, and draft plan of condominium applications. The building includes a residential condominium, which has now been registered, 3 retail units and an underground parking garage that contains both residential parking and a commercial parking facility. The next slide. Shown here and subject to the consent application today are 2 separate retail units along Parliament Street frontage with an improved sidewalk, I would note, through the site plan process, and with the lobby to the residential condominium located between the units. On the next slide shows a 3rd retail unit located adjacent to Distillery Lane and a POP space that was part of the approvals process. These combined form the retail lands under the application. And then shown here is the entrance to the shared residential and commercial parking garage located off of a driveway that is shared with the building under construction at 31 Parliament Street. Those portions of the commercial parking garage form the parking lands. These have all been constructed in line with the aforementioned detailed approvals, which were previously undertaken through extensive consultation and work with city staff and neighboring properties, as well as the neighborhood association. On the next slide, I highlight the previous committee decision in July of last year. Committee approved a consent application by the owners of the site and my client GLENWOOD for the condominium lands, the retail lands, and the parking lands. The registration of the condo actually proceeded in advance of the fulfillment of the consent conditions to allow for occupancy of the building, and this was completed in December 9th of last year. As a result, the separate condominium lands were created through that registration process under the Condominium Act, and therefore the description of the previous approval was no longer up to date. On the next slide, the application before the committee remains the same as the previous approval, but no longer references the condominium lands as that's no longer necessary, and also provides some as-built updates following the registration of the registered plan, the R plan referenced on the notice of decision, or sorry, on the notice of application. The remaining non-residential lands that are not part of the condo remain under the ownership of GLENWOOD, and the proposal is still to create the 2 separate stratified parcels on the ground floor and underground garage for the retail lands and for the parking lands, along with their associated easements for access and maintenance. This has always been intended through the approvals process and will facilitate sales for purchases of the retail unit and the commercial parking garage. From a planning perspective, there are no built form changes. The proposal conforms to the official plan, complies with the site-specific zoning bylaw as it's been constructed, and meets the requirements for consent under the Planning Act. And these are all outlined in our planning rationale as well. We've discussed this with city staff. There's no objection from community planning or for any other party of this application. I've provided the strata plan as on the next few slides for reference. This shows the existing separate condo parcel now in green, the retail lands in yellow on the slide previous, reflecting the aforementioned 3 units and a garbage area, and the parking lands in blue. And this reflects access and portions of the underground parking garage for commercial parking purposes. And on the last slide, development engineering has no concerns or objections, subject to their standard conditions, which are the same as the previous approval and which we accept. Metrolinx has provided their advisory comments. I can confirm that all of the Metrolinx development permit requirements have already been fulfilled through the site plan and condominium and construction building permit processes. So therefore, in summary, the application is largely technical in nature. It implements a previous approval, results in appropriate development and good planning, and we request the committee's approval. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I noted somewhere in the materials that very much a technical, there was an omission. And
It's largely an update because the residential condominium lands are a separate parcel now as they've been registered as a condo. So the notice of decision, the previous notice of decision, which references those, is no longer up to date. This notice of decision will allow for the certificate and severance of the retail and parking lands.
that's great. Thank you very much. I'll just see if my colleagues have any questions for you at all. Mr. Lombardi?
Quickly. So as I take it, your client, with respect to the retail lands, doesn't want to be a landlord.
Sorry, I can't hear.
Sorry, doesn't want to be a landlord, wants to sell that.
That is my understanding. Under this, they could theoretically retain those lands, but it allows for the separation of the parking lands from the retail lands from a severance perspective.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
That's it.
Perfect. Thank you. Any other questions, comments? None? Okay, we'll take it into committee and look for a decision. I'd like to grab this one post-lunch. Mr. Clay, Mr. Lombardi, go ahead.
I had my cookie, so I'll eat. I'll go forward. Yeah, this is as we're hearing, this is a technical consent to sever situation. The proposal is really a stratified consent, and this is the second stratified consent that I've dealt with at Committee of Adjustment. I think it's becoming a little more prevalent as we go forward. I don't see any issues. The consent establishes the retail lands and the underground parking lands that are the subject of the application, and it also establishes variances for access, repair, maintenance, and various easements between the parking lands and the rest of the development. So quite frankly, I'm prepared to move a motion supporting the consent to sever, subject to conditions of approval, which is development engineering. They've submitted 4 conditions of approval. And I'm prepared to move that motion because this application has regard for all matters under subsection 5124 of the Planning Act, and I agree, it represents good planning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lombardi. Do we have a seconder? Thank you, Mr. Bissonnette. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approval, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item number 20. Item number 20 is another request for severance. Number 10 Earl Street. The consent requested is to obtain consent to sever the lot into 2 stratified parcels for the purpose of conveying the air rights over the existing 2-story semi-detached dwelling as per City Council's direction to secure the tower separation on the lands municipally known as 5 Huntley Street and 2-8 Earl Street and a portion of 10 Earl Street. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of draft revised plan of survey, copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans and elevations, 5 photographs of the subject property, pardon me, covering letter from the agent, presentation materials from the agent, and staff report from community planning. And we also have correspondence in concern or in interest from 18 Earl Street and 22 Earl Street. Okay.
Through the
Good
chair,
afternoon.
through the chair, we have the agent here in person, as well as 1 opposition speaker in person.
Thank you. Mr. Brown, I take it. Could you have your name and address for the record, please?
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. My name is Sean Brown. I'm a lawyer from Brown Dryer. Our office address is 40 Holly Street, Suite 404 in the city of Toronto.
Thank you. And did I hear correctly that we have somebody in opposition?
Through the chair, yes, we have one speaker in opposition here in person.
Perfect. Thank you. We will need a presentation then, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
If we could just get the presentation materials we submitted up. And go to the next slide, please. Thank you. 10 Earl Street is located on the north side of Earl Street, a few properties removed from the northeast corner of Earl and Huntley, which is where the approval for a 63-story tower that you were referring to is located. It's 1 block west of Sherbourne Street and 1 block east of Jarvis Street, approximately 400 meters south of Bloor Street East. Next slide, please. My client, through a related company, is the owner of 5 Huntley Street and 2 to 8 Earl Street, which is to the immediate west of 10 Earl Street, across from an existing laneway. Council in January of 2026 approved a 63-story development with a 10-meter eastern setback to the eastern lot line of 10 Earl Street, which we've shown in red writing in the top of the slide we've provided. As a condition to that approval, the city has requested that my client sever the airspace above 10 Earl Street in order to secure that 10-meter setback and restrict any uses above the existing house, which will remain as is as part of this application. Next slide, please. This slide shows the severance that we are requesting. The portion shown in green is the portion that will be retained by my client, whereas the portion in pink, which goes from an elevation of 130.35 meters or above approximately 17 meters above grade to the air will be severed and conveyed to the city in order to secure the 10-meter setback that was approved by council. Thank you. I also wanted to note that we have 2 notice of objections, as you had mentioned, and those notices relate to concerns with the construction of the tower and how they'll impact the foundations of certain properties to the east of the approved tower. But this is simply, I spoke to both objectors and simply explained that this is a consent to sever the airspace, and it doesn't have to do with the actual construction of the approved tower, and that will be dealt with through a construction management plan as part of the site plan process. But those objections are outstanding.
Thank you very much. We'll go to the folks in opposition. Somebody's here, I take it.
Thank you.
Could the speaker from 18 Earl Street come up to the podium?
Hi.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair.
Hi, good afternoon. If we could get your name and address, please.
Aaron McAdam, 18 Earl Street.
Thank you. And you have 5 minutes to make your case. Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving me this time. I live at 18 Earl Street, which is a row of homes from 10 to 26. These are Victorian homes built in 1877. I'm not here to oppose the severance. I'm here to ask for standard structural protection of our homes. I understand that the construction, when it's done, it's a contract between the city and the developer, so we will not be part of that. And as such, I'm asking this committee to put a condition for the developer when they start to have a pre-construction condition survey of our homes and a real-time vibrating monitor at the edge, because the laneway is only 1 car. It's like these homes were built in 1877. They will not withstand the 63-story construction next door. So in good faith, the developer, I'm not asking for the client, number 10, but the developer, when they start the construction, to do a pre-construction survey of our homes and also a monitoring of the vibrations. My fear is if you don't ask this now, this condition, by the time the construction comes, it's too late. Because again, that is drawn between the city and the developer. We will not be part of that. So as such, that's basically my request. A condition to be put as part of the consent that our homes to be surveyed before the construction and a monitoring to be put at the edge where the construction starts. That's basically that. That way we're all safe. The city will be safe from any future liabilities should our homes, crumble. And so in good faith, the developer can put that as part of the condition. That's my request.
Thank you very much. Let me just see if my colleagues have any comments for you or questions. I don't see any at the moment. We'll ask the agent to come back. I don't believe we have anybody else, so we do.
Through the chair, we have no more speakers.
Thank you so much. So if you don't mind taking your seat again, and we'll have the agent respond to your concerns.
Thank you. Through you,
Thank you,
Mr. Chair,
Brown.
the concerns of the objector are understood by our client. However, we can't place conditions on the severance because it's being severed and conveyed to the city. And the condition of council's approval is that's done without any conditions. But the developer understands the concerns and will keep in touch when a construction management plan is being put in place through site plan approval.
Thank you so much. Let me just see if any of the, Mr. Clay has a question for you.
Thanks. So this is interesting. I think I get what you're proposing. Who owns 10 Earl?
The company is called 10 Earl Street, Inc., but it's a related company to the developer of 5 Huntley.
Okay, so
to the west.
you already have
We already have
interest
council.
in that property.
My client does, yes.
Oh, so what's the practical effect here? So you're severing the air rights and in favor of the city, it sounds like.
Correct.
So what's the practical effect of that? Does that mean that freezes development
Correct.
over and above 10?
Correct. The city will be able to restrict the use over the existing height to secure that 10-meter setback from the approved development, and then any other future development will have to provide that same 10-meter setback so the city can secure the 20 meters that they typically like to secure from tower to tower.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, if that were ever to
Any
get
future
redeveloped-
development.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you.
Which means no drones above that airspace. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Any other questions or concerns? None? Thank you, and I think your point with regard to the concerns of the deputant, I think are quite appropriate. We're here for the severance, and that's our mandate. Thank you so very much. We'll take it into committee now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, who would like to take this one? It's a very technical, straightforward request.
Sure, Chair. I,
Mr. Clay?
again, answered my questions. It's just an unusual one, but it now makes sense, understand it. This is a very technical variance, and I think it's fairly straightforward now. So I'm happy to put forward a motion to approve.
Thank you very much, and I don't believe there are any conditions. It's only planning comments, but no conditions.
Yeah, there's the standard.
Oh, yeah, the technical
Standard ones,
engineering. Thank you very much. Okay, do we have a seconder? Mr. Bissonnette, thank you very much. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approval, Mr. Brown. Thank you. Okay, moving on to number 21.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Take care. We have number 21, 36 Windermere Avenue, and purpose of the application is to construct a new 2-story semi-detached ancillary building containing 1 garden suite, including a basement, in the rear yard abutting Windermere Place. There will be a total of 5 residential dwelling units on this lot, 4 units within the main building and 1 unit within the ancillary building. Pardon me, the committee had before it the following communications. Copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans and elevations, copy of a revised plan, 1 photograph of the subject property, staff reports from Metrolinx, and 1 from Urban Forestry. We also have correspondence in opposition from 29 Southport Street and from the Swansea Area Ratepayers Group. Okay.
Through the chair, we have the agent online and 2 registered speakers in opposition online.
Thank you. Okay. Nargis, are you there?
Ali Shakiri, 326 Shepherd Avenue East. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you,
Good,
sir.
thank you. We'll require a presentation because we do have a couple of folks in opposition.
Indeed, very straightforward. This is a very, very small garden suite in the backyard. We have two minor variances. Speaking about the side yards, the area of this, the coverage of this garden suite is only less than 30 square meters. So basically less than 50% of the 60 square meters that is allowed by the bylaw. My clients decided not to make it any larger than that. It would be adequate. It would require more variances, such as the ones that you see on other applications. So all in all, this is a very small garden suite, 2-story. We made the side yards reduced in order to get one proper size bedroom on the second floor. So the size of the bedroom on the second floor is just meeting the minimum required by the Ontario Building Code. I have nothing more to say. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me just check and see if my colleagues have any questions at this point. If not, we'll listen to the folks in opposition. None? Oh, okay, we'll move on to the folks in opposition and hear from them.
Through the chair, we will unmute the speaker from 29 Southport Street.
Hi, it's me. This is Saurabh Sood from 29 Southport Street. I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me.
We can, Mr. Sood. Thank you so much. Please go ahead. You have 5 minutes.
Yes, so I wanted to express my strong opposition to the variance application. I'm a direct neighbor in the adjoining townhouse row, and I have significant concerns regarding the scale of this development. Specifically, it has a detrimental impact on my property's privacy, the light access, and structural integrity. The requested variances do represent an overdevelopment of the lot, and it also fails to respect the existing physical character of our neighborhood. I've mentioned all of this in the letter that I had submitted, but I'm happy to kind of quickly go through all of that in summary. So there are 3 points that I want to address. One is a loss of privacy and overlook. So overall, this entire construction is definitely going to impact the privacy of my home. It basically, it's creating a situation where my backyard is no longer a private sanctuary. It also impacts the living quality. So the height of this structure will cast significant shadows, reduce natural light into primary living spaces, which is really essential for well-being and energy efficiency. The second point that I want to bring about is the construction impact on my home and structures adjoining to us. The demolition and the excavation does pose a risk of vibration damage, cracking of unit, etc. Also, from a utility and access point of view, I am concerned about service disruptions like water, gas, sewage, and also the inevitable blocking of the shared public areas during the construction phase. The third point that I want to highlight is the overall impact and the neighborhood character. So by no means this construction seems minor, specifically to homes that are right next to it. And I've mentioned kind of details of why I support that. So in conclusion, basically, I would request refusal of this. And in addition to these, being directly impacted by this construction for the past, it's been a really long time now that the construction has been happening. We haven't received any notices. There was a large tree in that area that was completely taken down without any notice. So suddenly one day, like in the morning when we woke up, there was this large tree like completely fallen down into the back yard of our adjoining home, which also impacts us. And this happened like several months ago. I don't know whether this was approved or not approved. I couldn't find information of that approval when I looked at the documents, and the pieces of that tree are still just scattered there. The fence is completely damaged and broken, and it's been in this state for a really long time, which is extremely concerning. And I have 2 small children. This impacts us in many ways. That tree, because the area is so narrow, that tree could have impacted our backyard, or something could have fallen in. We didn't have any notification that something like this was happening, and my 2 little children, they use our backyard very, very regularly. So that was very, very frightening to see, waking up one morning. In addition to that, in terms of the number of units that are being and if you look at all the other homes, we're all single families living around this. With the number of units that are being constructed in that small land, I'm very concerned about, what the purpose and how it's going to be used. Off late, I've been seeing, strangers or like new people every now and then, because this area, we do share public spaces. So, we see people with suitcases and things like that, and these people keep changing. So this does impact the overall safety as well. I don't know if it's being sublet as short-term rentals or whatever other reason, but that's super concerning as well. So yeah, so I guess in summary, these are what my concerns are.
Thank you, Mr. Sood. We'll have the agent respond to you, but let me just see if my colleagues have any questions for you. None? Okay, thank you so much. And we'll move on to the next person, Mr. Singh.
Through the chair, we will now unmute the Swansea area ratepayers speaker.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Nicholas Singh. I'm representing the Swansea area ratepayers.
Good afternoon, Mr. Singh. Please go ahead and give us your concerns.
Thank you. In our letter, we noted that there were some problems with the application, one of them being the posting of the notice on the property, which, as per the photographs submitted by the applicant, show that the notice was placed on the side of the house behind a bus stop instead of the front. I understand that the proper posting of the notice would require a deferral of the hearing until the notice is properly posted, and I'll leave it to the committee to make a decision on that matter. Also, the purpose of the application is to construct a semi-detached garden suite. As we were unable to find a semi-detached garden suite anywhere in the bylaws, including in the definitions, we understand that there is no permissions for a semi-detached garden suite, and we are opposed to the approving of variances that would legitimize a structure that does not exist in the bylaws. Also, if we're not dealing with a semi-detached garden suite, we recommend that the public notice be reissued to properly identify the application. We also feel that the semi-detached building depicted in the plans submitted for this application creates confusion about the intent about what we are approving, and are not the plans that should be submitted if the intention is to build a detached living unit. So I'll stop at this point to get the committee's decision on if we are proceeding despite these issues. Turn it over to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Singh. Thank you. Let me just check something with Madam Secretary Treasurer with regard to the concern that Mr. Singh raises about posting of the notice. How do we address that?
Through you, Mr. Chair, the sign should be posted on the main street, visible. So can we have the applicant confirm exactly? I have a photo in front of me. It's exactly where Mr. Singh is saying it is. Can we unmute the agent and ask them why they didn't post it in the front yard?
I can see that it seems to be on the side of the street. This was submitted well ahead of time. The planning, community planning usually reviews that if they have any objection or if there is any the issue, they would raise it. No one contacted us. We had a long list of other comments that we addressed promptly, but this wasn't one of the comments. So this was submitted well ahead of time, and we didn't get any comment back from community planning.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I mean, it wouldn't have been community planning that would have commented on this.
Staff, my apologies.
Yes. So based on the requirement of the Planning Act, it's required to be in the front yard, right, on a major street so that it is visible. So in this case, this renders probably a deferral
This is improper notice?
for improper notification. And through you, Mr. Chair, we can schedule this to the May 13th hearing, if that helps.
Mr. Nasiri, did you hear that?
Yes, I heard that, sir.
Okay. Bear with me just 1 second. Mr. Lombardi would like to ask a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, through you. Mr. Singh raised an interesting point, one that I had noted in my notes and being out at the site. Your description purpose of the application talks about this being a new two-story semi-detached ancillary building containing one garden suite. And looking at the site plan, I was also questioning the description of this as a semi-detached garden suite when I do not believe that there is another garden suite either attached to it on the adjoining property, or I don't think there's a structure at all, ancillary structure at all. So I'm going to ask if and typically what happens when a public notice is issued, the description or purpose of the application is typically done through the zoning department, and they provide the description, although that is usually dependent on the description provided by the applicant. But can you explain the semi-detached ancillary building nature of this garden suite?
Absolutely valid question, sir. What we proposed was a garden suite. That's reflected on the application we submitted. And also, we have submitted a zoning review. The zoning notice is issued, and it's online. You can examine that. Even that notice doesn't speak about a semi-detached garden suite. So, again, this has appeared on the application, on the description of the application. Perhaps the Committee of Adjustment decided to make that description. It wasn't from our side. While we have no objection to that, I would say that this is not what we proposed. On our application, we proposed a garden suite, and the zoning notice identifies a garden suite.
Just to follow up on that, Mr. Chair, thank you for indulging me.
No, please.
I would make an assumption, and we all know what making an assumption results in. But nevertheless, I believe because this is an existing semi-detached home, there may have been an assumption that since it's a semi-detached home, the follow-through is this would have to be, or typically be, a semi-detached garden suite. I have never seen that definition in the official plan or any zoning documentation. So I'll question it. I don't know where that came from, but that may have to be revised in the...
You know, just to be helpful here, it's if you look at the site plan, the property next door looks like there is something adjacent to the proposed garden suite in the rear yard. And then if you go on Street View, and if you look over the fence, there looks like there's a big shed back there. So it shouldn't be semi-detached, but I think that might explain why someone thought it might be semi-detached.
I think that's an outdated picture.
Oh, it is, for sure. It's an old picture, but it does show the property in the property adjacent.
Well, can we confirm this with the applicant? Because the drawings do show another building adjacent with a full basement as well. I just assumed that they were, both properties were being redeveloped at the same time. Is that the case, that you're proposing a full basement in the next lot as well, number 34?
No, number 34, the main building is attached to number 36. So these two buildings currently existing, the main building I'm talking about, the main buildings are attached and they're existing. So now they had, number 34 also is contemplating to make a garden suite, a one-story garden suite, but they have put it on hold for the time being. So these are two separate garden suites, one on number 36, which we are moving forward with, and the number 34's plan for the garden suite now is just on hold I'm unsure if they want to proceed with that or not, or if they do it at what time. But that would be another garden suite. Again, if we are discussing about the term semi-detached, that wasn't our intention. We didn't mention that. We don't say it is or it isn't. We just proposed a garden suite, and that is on the zoning notice as well.
Okay, so in your drawings, the 34 is not being applied for, but you did sketch them out.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thanks.
They will have separate walls anyways.
Mr. Lombardi?
Mr. Chair, if we are finished with questions, I'm prepared to go in committee and move a motion to defer. I'd like further clarification on this.
Thank you, Mr. Lombardi. I think the agent has understood the necessity for a deferral.
Do you need, Chair, do you need to go back to Mr. Singh, or are we finished with him?
Might as well ask him while he's there. Mr. Singh, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Mr. Singh, would the deferral be part of partly addressing your concerns?
Yes, the two concerns are, what are we dealing with here, and the posting of the notice.
Great, thank you so very much. Thank you. Okay, we'll go back into committee, and Mr. Lombardi, would you be so kind as to follow through?
Yep, thank you, Mr. Chair. I would move a motion to defer this application, subject to the applicant reconfirming the information regarding the building type proposed for this garden suite, and also I believe there was further clarification. Let's see. I think that was that all that we were asking clarification?
Through you, Mr. Chair, and proper signage on the
Proper
main
signage,
street.
sorry,
Signage.
yes, that's right, that's right.
Posting of the signage.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do you have a
Thank you.
seconder? Mr. Bissonnette, thank you very kindly. All those in favor of the deferral? Wonderful. You've got a deferral, sir. Thank you.
Through the chair, we just need to look into your video issue.
Sure, please, let's take 5 minutes. Members, turn off your videos and microphones, and let's mute the room. Thank you. Okay, through you, Mr. Chair, members, please turn on your videos, microphones. We'll unmute the room.
Okay, sorry about the technical challenges. What would life be without them? Okay, going back to, I'm sorry, we're dealing with 21, and we're done with, did we vote on 21? Yes, we did. Okay, wonderful. All right, so we're moving on to item number 22. Item number 22 is 296 Silver Birch Avenue. And the purpose of the application is to alter the existing 2 1/2 story detached dwelling by constructing a complete 3rd story addition. Also to replace the rear additions and deck with a new 3-story addition with a ground floor deck and stairs, a 2nd floor Juliet balcony, a 3rd floor balcony, and a concrete walkway connecting the garage with the public sidewalk. Committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 4 photographs of the subject property, covering letter from the agent, decision number affecting the subject property, and a list of minor variances from the agent. We also have an 18-signature petition in support, signed by owners and occupants of properties on Silver Birch Avenue and Willow Avenue. Okay.
Through the chair, we have the agent online and no registered speakers.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Branko Mladenov. I'm the architect. My address is 314 Vaughan Road.
Thank you, Branko. Let me just see, I don't believe we have anybody in opposition, but let me just see if my colleagues have any questions for you or would like a presentation at this point.
Chair, just my assigned role and responsibility with respect to balconies. Is the, do you have screening on your 2nd story balcony?
It could be, yeah. We could be, yeah.
Maybe on the sides?
Yeah, okay. It's not shown, but it's not a problem. We can.
Is that the 3rd story? Sorry, if I got that right, that a 3rd or 2nd story?
The 3rd floor.
Is it 3rd floor?
Or 2nd floor.
Excuse me.
Go ahead, sir.
If you could open my covering letter, and then you can see there is a south elevation proposed. Yeah, that one. Yeah. So you see the balcony, it is on top of the 2nd story.
All right, so it's a 3rd story balcony. Yeah, it'd be good to have screening on the sides of that, I think, to reduce overlook with your neighbors.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or thoughts? No? Okay. Branko, we'll take it into committee and look for a decision for you. Thank you. I think this is a very straightforward application. There are 3 variances, and I don't see any issues with them. There are no conditions attached to this particular application either. So, Mr. Reed, thank you kindly.
Yeah, I agree, Chair. Thanks. I agree too. The way the massing's being proposed is very good in terms of lessening any impact. Right, it's all on the existing footprint, and really contained within the side walls of the adjoining houses. So there's no real negative impact from allowing these variances. So I'll move approval, subject to the condition that Larry put forward, that there be screening on the north and south side of the 3rd story balcony.
Perfect, thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you, Mr. Lombardi. Okay, we have a motion on the floor, moved by Mr. Reed, seconded by Mr. Lombardi. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approval, sir. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 23. Pardon me. Item number 23 is 144 Dovercourt Road. Purpose of the application is to alter the existing rear two-story ancillary building containing 2 laneway suites as approved by minor variance decision number A0641/25TEY by constructing a second-story landing and stairs on the east side of this building. There will be a total of 5 residential dwelling units on this lot, 3 dwelling units within the main house and 2 dwelling units within the ancillary building. Committee had before the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, elevations, 2 photographs of the subject property, covering letter from the owner, decision number affecting the subject property, presentation materials from the agent, and support correspondence from 148 Dovercourt and 131 Dovercourt, and a 10-signature petition in support signed by owners and occupants of properties on Dovercourt and Argyle. We also have a correspondence in opposition from 159 Lisgar Street. Okay.
Through the chair, we will unmute the owners of this property to confirm whether they'll be speaking.
Thank you.
Brian, you've been unmuted.
Hello, my name is Ryan Valente. I'm the owner of the subject property.
Hi, good afternoon. Will you be speaking, or will your agent be speaking to this particular application?
I will be speaking to this if you guys would like me to.
Thank you very much. Okay, we did have one person in opposition.
Sorry, through the chair, the other speaker from 158 Dovercourt, I believe he may also be one of the owners.
Okay, is that correct, Ryan? Is that there are 2 owners here that want to speak?
If necessary, I can just speak and go through the presentation.
My understanding would be that ideally only one of you should be speaking.
Then yes, I will speak.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
If necessary.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Terrific. We do have one person in opposition?
Through the chair, that was the other person.
Oh, okay.
He may be the
So
co-owner.
there's nobody in opposition? No. Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. Let me just see if our members of our panel would have any questions for you or would like a presentation. Mr. Clay?
Yeah, thanks. So the letter of opposition raised a couple concerns, but one of them in particular struck me was the rear landscaping, and she noted that it looked like there was artificial turf in the rear yard, and frankly, from the photos you submitted as part of your application, it looks like it's artificial turf. And I think you probably know that artificial turf does not qualify as soft landscaping. You'd have to rip that up and put real sod in, right?
Yes, real sod is proposed in the backyard as soft landscaping. And I will note that the pictures included in that opposition letter are from a different property.
Okay, but I did look at the ones you sent in, and it does look like it's artificial there?
I believe so, yes. But
Yeah.
we were happy to put sod there. That's no problem.
Yeah, you have to, because you have to qualify for the variance you're asking for rear yard landscaping.
Yeah, that's no problem at all.
Thank you. Yeah, I noted that one of the photographs that was submitted by you is actually, I think, architect's rendering rather than a photograph. But there were some other photographs that did show artificial turf. Thank you.
Because one is part of the ones they submitted. I think
Yeah.
it's the actual, it's been built, right? So.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any other questions for the agent? Mr. Reed? Mr. Reed has a question.
Thanks, Chair. So, yeah, I'm just looking for a bit of clarity in what happened, because you got approved for the two dwelling units in the laneway suite a year ago.
That's correct.
And then you built it, and then now you're going to do a major renovation of it? Or, like, is it completed inside, or what?
So the previous approval, which I believe was back in November, was to add 2 units within the existing structure of the laneway suite, which we got approval for. This application in front of you is solely for the exterior entrance stair to that second floor unit. It's only regarding the stair. Now, the reason the soft landscaping is one of the variances, is that the city has an internal guideline that's not in the bylaw, that they do not count the area underneath the stairs as soft landscaping, even if it is soft landscaping. So that's why we have the 2 variances associated with this entrance stair.
Right. No, I understand that part of it. I'm just trying to understand the process. Why didn't you come with this exterior stair last time? Like, what changed between then and now?
We just realized that it would have been better to have this exterior stair. That way it adds more livable space to both the main floor unit and the second floor unit. It just creates a much better unit. Also allows for total separation of the units.
Okay.
Mr. Lombardi has a question for you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Very quickly. Just wondering, and maybe this is a rhetorical question, I may know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Variance 1 deals with the proposed stairway to the second floor, I assume. Is there any reason why that staircase couldn't be parallel to the east elevation as opposed to perpendicular?
You're saying like across the front of the building?
Yeah. Because that's what
it would impact the windows. There's also a basement walkout on that side.
Okay.
So we don't really want it over top of that basement walkout.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
And typically a straight shot is just a better use of the space.
Thank you very much, thank you, Mr. Lombardi. I do have a question that just perplexes me a bit, is that was the initial intent to have 2 units with 2 laneway suites initially? And if so, was any thought about how access was going to be provided at the time? It seems like this is an afterthought, and that's why I'm just wondering what happened.
So it's a multitude of things. The initial application back in November had an internal staircase, but as you guys know, that eats up valuable living space within both units. So, and then we also saw that directly across the street at 131 Dovercourt, an exterior stair was approved by the committee. So we thought, oh, that's a great idea. We should have done that. Allows for more living space. So we went back and reapplied, and this is why this variance is in front of you now.
Yeah, I always wondered about the idea of how would you have accessed the second story, and you just mentioned it. Initially, it was through a staircase inside, so somebody would have to walk into somebody else's space, or
it would have been fully
separated?
separated. It would have been fully separated, but it would eat into livable space for that unit. Mm-hmm.
And so by putting the stairs on the outside now, the lower level would actually have a bit more room. As well. Yeah, okay.
And then it limits noise between units. It allows for complete separation.
Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll take it into committee and look for a decision for you. Would like to run with this one. Mr. Lombardi, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I can support this. I believe the variances are minor, given the explanation regarding the rear yard soft landscaping, as well as the variance number 1, which really deals with the platform and stairs that are encroaching into separation distance. So I think this is pretty straightforward. The laneway suite is permitted, and I'm prepared to move a motion approving the application and the 2 variances.
Thank you. I just have a quick
Open to
question.
a friendly amendment, that this, I appreciate that the owner indicated they'd be replacing that, but I wouldn't mind putting a condition in that the artificial turf be replaced with real sod.
Yeah, I was just wondering about that because there's no, there isn't a variance that no, there is. It's variance number 1, isn't it?
There is a variance for a slight reduction in soft landscaping, but if they don't replace it with sod, then it is completely without soft landscaping.
Oh, well,
So I think the owner indicated that they were going to do that, but I wouldn't mind putting a condition to that effect,
I'm just looking at the site plan, and the site plan does.
or tied to the site plan.
Yeah, I'm thinking we can tie it to the site plan because it does. I want to make sure that it says, well, it says existing soft landscaping, which is perhaps a misnomer on the site plan. So yeah, let's put a condition.
Perfect. Would you like to rephrase that, your motion?
Oh, so the condition would simply be that the rear yard be the artificial turf that's there now be replaced with sod.
Perfect. Thank you. Mr. Clay, would you be seconding that motion by any chance? Thank you. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor, moved by Mr. Lombardi, seconded by Mr. Clay, with one condition attached, that the rear yard artificial turf be replaced with soft landscaping. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approval, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, just one clarification. I'm just looking at it. If we say the rear yard, there's a possibility that that could be referred to the strip of land between the laneway and the proposed, well, not the proposed, the existing laneway suite. I'm wondering if we should say, clarify that the artificial turf be replaced with sod between the main home and the existing laneway suite.
That sounds, it would work, I suspect.
I just want to, just so no one misunderstands that.
Okay. Did we capture that?
Don't you use it?
Through you, Mr. Chair, that's fine. We can do the area between the rear main wall of the dwelling and the laneway suite. I mean, it was shown on their plans as soft landscaping in front of the laneway suite as well. And I don't know if that'll help them as well, you know.
I'm just concerned because the site plan, I'm looking at site plan drawing A0, indicates that rear area between the rear wall of the main home and the laneway suite says existing soft landscaping, which we've been told is.
Yeah, I don't know how precise we have to be. I think they generally get our intent.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we can just say the area between the main dwelling and the laneway suite.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
That's the back area.
Yeah,
we're talking
I'm good with that, yeah.
Okay.
Through the chair, could we just pause for a moment? We've lost video on 2 members.
Oops.
Mine's on purpose.
Ryan's leaving.
Oh, sorry, okay. We need the chair's video, yeah.
Oh, you, mine again? Oh. I think my mouse has just accidentally clicked it again. Yeah, I just touched it again. All right. So the previous motion was captured? Got it all? Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay. Moving on to item number 24. Oh, is it already 3? Oh, yes, we're already into that time slot. Item number 24. Okay. Item number 24 is 192 Crawford Street. Purpose of the application is to construct a new 2-story detached ancillary building containing a 1-car garage on a portion of the ground level and a 1-laneway suite occupying the basement, ground, and second levels. There will be a total of 3 residential dwelling units on this lot, 2 units occupying the main dwelling and 1 unit occupying the ancillary building. Committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, elevations, revised site plan, floor plans, elevations, red line public notice from the agent, revised zoning notice, 6 photographs of trees on the subject property, covering letter from the agent, tree protection plan. And we also have staff report from community planning, and we have correspondence in opposition from 219 Shore Street as well. Okay. And number 24.
Yep. Through the chair, we
Good
have the agent and owner here in person and one registered speaker online.
Wonderful. Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair.
Good afternoon. Could we get your name and address,
Yes.
please?
My name's Maria Denegri from Denegri Bus Studio, located at 1088 Bathurst Street. I am the agent and architect representing the homeowners.
Wonderful. Thank you. We will require a presentation because we do have one person in opposition.
Yes.
So if you don't mind, 5 minutes.
Through the
okay.
chair, it's the person is speaking in interest. Should
Oh,
we,
only speaking
should we
in
confirm
interest.
their position?
Okay, so we may not require a presentation
Okay.
after all. Let me see if my colleagues would like one. Anybody needing a presentation or questions at this point? None? Oh, you're getting off lightly again? Oh, not yet.
Through the chair, should we confirm the person's interest?
It might be worthwhile doing that, just to be sure.
We're unmuting the speaker in interest. Fang Mu, you've been unmuted.
Yes, good afternoon. Sorry, I actually don't mean to speak, and I didn't know how to register to be on the hearing, but not speak. So I didn't figure that out.
Not to worry. So you're just interested in listening in, but not requiring to speak.
Because I am the next door neighbor, so
Yeah.
for the development, that's why. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's deal with the red line notice first, because there's some changes, I believe.
Yes.
Okay.
I can, would you like me to speak to some of these?
Yeah, let's just go
Yes.
through from...
So I think it's important, really the cover letter that I submitted, I think is a good summary of the trajectory of this application. And the most recent drawings that are dated April 1st are the...
If I may interrupt you just for a moment. If we can just look at the variances that you're requesting.
Yes, so the
just-
there's two variances. One is for spatial separation, and one is a reduction in the rear yard setback.
So where are the changes taking place?
The only change that we are requesting is that we have increased the spatial separation between the two buildings. We
which
have,
is
yes,
variance number one.
Our original application had a spatial separation of 4.12.
Correct.
After our first meeting with Josh Estrella, we increased that, and then we met with Claire, who was the woman that you just spoke with, and then made additional adjustments to our application to further increase that separation to 5 meters.
Perfect, thank you. So that's variance
Okay.
number one, being changed from 4.12
Yes.
meters to 5.0
Yes.
meters.
Yep.
And
The
you have a second one.
The second
Variance number
variance,
two?
yeah, the second variance is a reduction in the rear yard, in the rear setback. A laneway suite is required to be 1 meter from the property line. Our initial application was compliant, and in our discussions with community planning, they suggested that we push the building back in an attempt to improve the condition between the two buildings. I raised the concern that this would incur a new variance, but community planning did talk to transportation, and transportation stated no concerns. So that reduction in setback is requested. So from a 1 meter allowable to 0.7. The 0.7 was critical because it allowed us to keep the required 2.5 meters from the center line of lane. I did not want to be in a position where I was asking for 2 additional variances. The letter of opposition has stated concern that the laneway is narrow, but I should note that the existing garage that we propose to demolish to make room for this new laneway suite is actually 0.5 meters away from the property. So we are actually improving the condition, if albeit minor. Okay.
Thank you. If I may just also ask you about, there's a planning condition and the concern was about variance 1. So your amendment, does that take care of the planning condition?
It does. I think Josh's letter was actually quite favorable. We had a very good discussion with him, and we also made additional changes to the proposal that were not required. We reduced the overall height of the laneway suite from the allowable 6.3 meters in height to 5.8, I believe. We also introduced, instead of a flat roof parapet at that 1-story portion, which is what projects into the yard, we actually sloped that roof, and so it's really creating a kind of minimal imposing condition. We removed a window on that second floor at the request of the neighbor to just reduce the overlook. So if you look at a few of the renders that I included in the cover letter, it should actually clarify some of these kind of massing changes that we made. So the variance notice is a little alarming. A 2-story laneway suite is required to be 7.5 meters away from the principal walls. These measurements are being taken from the 1-story portions of both of the buildings. You'll note that the main principal dwelling has a tiny mudroom that projects forward from the principal main wall by 1.2 meters. And then the 5-meter spatial separation is actually being measured to the 1-story portion. So when you measure the distance between the 2 or 3-story main walls, it's actually 8.3, right? So we are mindful of and understand the intent behind the spatial separation requirement. And all of this was in order. All these revisions were done really with the intent of maintaining good neighborly relations. My client has lived on the street for over 20 years. There are neighborhood parties that everyone attends, and in addition, it was very important to make sure that we could provide a 3-bedroom rental unit, which is what the intent of this laneway suite was.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I imagine the planning condition could still be put in because essentially you've met the conditions already with that.
Yeah, planning condition for the
Tying it to the revised plan.
In my own cover letter I said we are tying our request for the variance to the revised plans.
Wonderful.
And yes, and yeah.
Thank you so very much. Mr. Clay, did you have saw your hand go up? Any questions? We'll take it into committee now and look for a decision.
No, I'm happy to take this one. I actually think this is a really good proposal, and I want to thank the applicant for making the changes and working closely with community planning, because I think it's a pretty good proposal right now. I particularly like the fact that the second story is set back. I mean, that reduces the massing, and you still get your 3-bedroom laneway suite. So I think this is a good proposal. I think it fits in well with the neighborhood. And as you point out, the separation is from the mudroom, not from the actual dwelling. So I think that speaks to the 5 meters. So that's fine. I will move approval of this application, subject to planning condition, tying it to the site plan, and it was in an elevation as well?
Well, it was a whole set of drawings. So the drawings that are dated April 1st.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, dated April 1st, received by us on April 7th.
On the 7th, yes, because we circulated them around the neighborhood and then, yeah.
Okay, thanks. As amended, thank you.
As amended. Mr. Lombardi, seconding. Thank you very kindly.
Comment, Mr. Chair?
Yes,
Just to add to my colleague, I'll just note that the two variances, in my opinion, are minor, especially number 2, which almost conforms to the step-back requirement given most recently enforce OREG 257/2025. So yeah, I'll second it.
Thank you very kindly. All those in favor? Thank you.
Right.
You have a
Thank
unanimous
you.
approval.
Thank you, Mr.
very
Chair.
kindly. Thank you. As amended, by the by.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay, moving on to item number 25. Item number 25 is 24 Cedarvale Avenue. Purpose of the application is to alter the existing two-story detached dwelling by enclosing the front porch into habitable space, also to construct a new front landing with stairs. Committee had before it the following communications: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 5 photographs of the subject property, and that's it. We have before us 3 variances for something that is fairly common in the area, so I think it's fairly straightforward. And let's see who we have here.
Through the chair, we have the agent online and no registered speakers.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hi, is this Tara Castator?
Yes, my name is Tara Castator. I'm the architect and authorized agent of 24 Cedarvale Avenue. My address is 60 Atlantic Avenue.
Thank you very much. We don't have anybody in opposition. This is a very straightforward front porch enclosure, which we see quite commonly in the city. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions for you, or no questions. Okay, we'll take it into committee and look for a decision for you. Okay, Mr. Reed?
Thanks, Chair. I'm happy to move a motion on this. This is very straightforward, and it's, we see this often, and there are many examples of this on the street. I do like the fact that they've included a large window in it to, keep that level of openness in the front. So I'll move approval of the application. I would like to tie it to a side elevation and site plan, just to ensure that this addition is limited to the first story only.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Clay? Thank you very much. All those in favor? Thank you. We have a unanimous approval. Thank you. And moving on to item number 26. Item number 26 is 173 Glenwood Crescent. Purpose of the application is to alter the existing 2-story detached dwelling by constructing a complete second-story addition above the existing attached garage. Committee had before the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, and 5 photographs of the subject property.
Through the chair, we have the agent online and no registered speakers.
Thank you. Maxim Efimov, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. You only got three variances in front of us, and it looks like a fairly straightforward application, building above an existing structure, the garage. We don't have anybody in opposition, so let me just see if my colleagues have any questions for you. If not, we'll take it into committee and look for a decision. No, I don't see any questions or need for a presentation, so we'll take it into committee and look for a decision. Okay. Mr. Clay?
Sure. Again, you're right, Chair. I think this is a very straightforward application. This is simply putting, it looks like 2 stories over the existing garage. These are larger homes on larger lots, quite easily accommodate that. I don't think it has any negative impact on the street or streetscape, and nor any of the neighbors. And the variances before us are really quite minor. So I'll move approval with no conditions.
No conditions, thank you. Second, Mr. Reed, thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Efimov, you have your approval. It's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, moving on to number 27. Number 27, the address is 1325-1337 Queen Street West. Purpose of the application, pardon me, to construct a new 16-story mixed-use building, excluding the penthouse on Block A, west block of the development site municipally known as 1325 and 1337 Queen Street West. This building will contain community spaces located on the basement and ground levels, and a total of 171 rental residential dwelling units, of which 85 units will be affordable rental dwelling units. There will be no parking spaces provided on site and off-site property municipally known as 245 Dunn Avenue. Committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevation, covering letter from the agent, arborist report, parking supply review prepared by the BA group, site-specific zoning bylaw and number affecting the property, staff report from community planning, and correspondence in support from Housing Development Officer, Housing Development Office, City of Toronto.
Through the chair, we have the agent online and no registered speakers.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Is this Tharmina?
This is Tharmiya Kanagadasan. I'm from Create TO, the city's real estate agency.
Thank you. Did we get your address, by the way? I'm sorry.
We're located at Union Station. It's at 61 Front Street West.
Terrific. Thank you so very much. Let me just see if my colleagues would like, we don't have anybody in opposition, but if anybody would like a presentation.
I don't think, but maybe a couple questions. I mean,
certainly. We have some questions for you. So, Mr. Clay?
So this looks like a great project, right? In terms of providing a rather large number of affordable units, and it's sponsored by an arm of the city. So, and it's designed to meet a particular need in Parkdale. So it's all good, I think, and there really isn't any opposition to this. I just wondered, maybe I'm looking at the wrong building. Is this a vacant lot, or is this is this the Dollarama, or is this the federal building next to it?
This is the Dollarama site.
It is the Dollarama site. So that, presumably that's coming down, and this is just going to start up from scratch?
Exactly, and it will become a 16-story mixed-use building.
Okay, that's fine. I was looking at the federal, what looks like an old federal building right next door, and I was wondering if that was included or not.
It is not.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? None? Thank you very much, Tharmina. We'll take it into committee now and look for a decision for you. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lombardi.
Yeah, this is a very supportable application. It really comes down to a zoning bylaw amendment that was previously approved for the Parkdale Hub, which requires parking be off-site at 425 Dunn Avenue, which is a TCHC building. And this approval also came through Committee of Adjustment decision in 2023. Unfortunately, the underground parking garage at 245 Dunn Street is not ready yet. Therefore, this applicant is going forward with their 16-story building, which will be built before the underground garage. This building will provide 171 total rental residential units, 85 units affordable, which is very supportable. Any parking temporarily can be accommodated at the existing Green Pea parking lot adjacent to the project, as well, eventually in the parking, underground parking garage at 245 Dunn. The City of Toronto's transportation group has justified a 0% on-site provision for the West Block, and they will already be accommodating or providing for accessible spaces on site. So I have no issues with this application. In fact, I'm prepared to move a motion to approve the application and the one variance required, as it'll provide affordable housing, mixed-use development, and it will provide community benefits in an area that could definitely benefit from this without any adverse impacts.
Thank you, Mr. Lombardi. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Reed, thank you very much. All those in favor? Thank you. Hermine, you have your approval unanimously. Thank you. Okay. Moving on to item number 28. Item number 28 is 736 Richmond Street West. Purpose of the application is to construct a new one-story detached ancillary building, pardon me, one-car garage in the rear yard abutting the laneway. Committee had before the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, elevations, 4 photographs of the subject property, covering letter from the agent, decision number affecting the subject property, and we also have correspondence in support from 738 Richmond West and 734 Richmond West.
Through the chair, we have the agent online and 1 registered speaker in support, also online.
Thank you. We have before us just a single variance that's requested, and it's to do with the rear yard setback. Hi, good afternoon. Could we get your name and address, please?
Yes, I am Nova Tiona, the architect and agent for 736. Address is 52 BD Avenue, Toronto.
Thank you. We don't have anybody in opposition, so we don't need a presentation from that regard. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions for you or require presentation. I don't see any, so this is your very lucky day. Thank you for just coming forth with a single variance that is very straightforward. Thank you. We'll take it into committee and look for a decision.
Through the chair, we're going to unmute the speaker from 734 Richmond Street West. Yep.
Is that person in opposition by any chance?
In support.
Oh, in support. Okay. All right. So we'll take it into committee at this point, or did the speaker need to speak by any chance? I'm not sure.
Through the chair, I'm just having difficulty unmuting this speaker. Just give me a moment. Philippa, we will try to contact you. Philippa, you've been unmuted. Philippa, are you there?
Hello?
Hi, good afternoon. Is this Philippa?
Oh, hi there. I'm not sure why the sound's not working well. Hi, this is Philippa Galamoff from 734 Richmond. I have nothing to say other than we support it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take care. Okay, we'll take it into committee and look for a decision. Mr. Reed?
Sure, thanks, Chair. There's just the one variance before us, and really what it is doing is lining up this new garage with the adjacent garages, and we have no comment from transportation. So I think that's eminently supportable. I'll move approval without condition.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clay seconds. Thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approval, Ms. Tayona. Thank you. And unanimous approval. Thank you. Item number 29. Okay, and we move on to item number 29, which is 123 Palmerston Avenue. Purpose of the application is to legalize and to maintain the canopy along the south and east rear side of the dwelling, which was constructed without an authorized building permit. Committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, revised site plan, floor plans, and elevations, red line public notice from the agent, revised zoning notice, 4 photographs of the subject property, covering letters from the agent, order to comply, staff report from community planning, and 8 form letters in support signed by owners and occupants of 121.5, 125, 127, 197, and 199 Palmerston Avenue, and 176, 284, and 256 Markham Street.
Through the chair, we have the agent online and no registered speakers.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Yu. Are you there?
Mr. Chair, good afternoon, Mr. Chair.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let's just deal first with because it's a red line notice. What changes are being made?
Well, yeah, we do make a revision on the rear yard soft landscaping.
Okay.
We increased it from 18.6% to 71.9%.
71? Sorry, it was. Can you repeat that?
31.9%.
Okay, now, thank you. I thought I misheard. Thank you very much. Okay, let me just see if there aren't any folks in opposition, so we don't need a presentation from that. But let me see if my colleagues have any questions for you, any comments, any need for presentation. Mr. Lombardi?
Just very quickly, I noticed that, well, first of all, let me say, if you've been watching the Committee of Adjustment or TLAB, I don't look favorably on as-built applicants who come before Committee of Adjustment or TLAB when I was at TLAB. Why was this built without a permit, first? And second, there seems to be, the variance that you're requesting is a significant reduction in rear yard soft landscaping. And I noticed that in your photos, there seems to be a lot of interlock block in the rear yard. Can you explain that? That's an existing condition?
Yes, well, before the owner tried to matching the rear line of the neighbors, the source neighbors. So the new porch just try to make a little cover for their own like outdoor use. However, and they try to also expand, put some new hard landscaping like the stone pavers, but furthermore we figure out that the owner figure out that it's not allowed, but it's quite common in downtown area. But later on they try to make all the change and remove all the new stone pavers and change to the soft landscaping within this application.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or concerns? None? Okay. Just a quick question, Mr. Yu. In one of the photographs that you've presented to us, the rear yard, there's one with snow and there's one with a couple of folks sitting in the backyard. That green space, that looks like artificial turf. Am I correct?
Yes, they all gonna remove all the turf and the stone paver underneath, and put the sod or the grass inside, replace with the sod and the grass.
So basically, there'll be a lot more. You've got the space from where the canopy is up to the garage will be all soft landscaping.
Exactly. Yes.
And the
All the
side.
space at the side, and all the space between the porch and the garage will replace with soft landscaping.
Okay. I can see that on the revised site plan. I think it's a revised site plan. Yes, it is. A 1.0. Perhaps we should tie it to that site plan. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Yu. We're going to take it into committee and look for decision.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, Mr. Lombardi, would you like to continue with your thoughts on this one?
I'm never one to actually move a motion where there's a legalize and maintain situation, but I will do it. I still have a bit of concern about the variance. It is a reduction in rear yard soft landscaping, but the revised site plan does show 44.5 square meters of, I'll call it new sod as opposed to what's existing. So I will move a motion approving the application and granting the one variance, subject to community planning's condition that we tie the approval to the site plan.
Revised site plan.
Sorry, revised site plan, yes.
Right. Okay, thank you. Mr. Clay?
I'll second that, and just make note, I mean, I think it's a fairly significant improvement over the existing, even though it's quite light on landscaping, and the only other option would be to remove the canopy, and I'm not sure that's in anyone's real interest in this case, so I think they've maxed out what they can now, given the circumstances, so I think that's good. So I'll second it.
Thank you very much. And so the condition is to tie to the site plan, planning condition.
Sorry, the revised site plan.
Revised site plan. And the other item, for the record, we do not condone illegal construction. All right, thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Yu, you have your approval. Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is... Okay, item number... We now move to item number 30. Item number 30 is 1083-1085 Dundas Street West and 14R Halton Street. Purpose of the application is to permit an eating establishment to occupy the entire ground floor area of the one-story commercial building. The existing seven parking spaces located on the vacant lands municipally known as 14R Halton Street will be maintained and unaltered. Committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 11 photographs of the subject property, a cover letter from the agent, decision numbers affecting the subject property, copy of email correspondence between the agent and supervisor, issues management and exception permits. We also have email correspondence from transportation engineering. We have correspondence in concern from 246 Shore Street, and we have correspondence in opposition from one person, no address provided, and one person, Halton Street, 20 Halton Street, 10 Halton Street, 250 Shore Street, and 252 Shore Street.
Through the chair, we have the agent here in person and 3 registered speakers online.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Welcome.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. If we could get your name and address, please.
Peter Milchin, agent for the owner. My address is 192 Lakeshore Road West.
Thank you, Mr. Milchin. I think we'll need a presentation. We do have folks in opposition. So you have your 5 minutes to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The application before you is for 5 variances. The first variance is change of use to allow for eating establishment of the existing one-story commercial building. The other 4 variances are what I would describe as technical variances related to parking on the lot, which is on the other side of the rear lane, to allow the off-site parking related to this establishment. Those 4 parking variances in several previous decisions have been approved by the committee for other commercial uses. The building is within an R zone, but it is a historically commercial building. It was originally an auto body shop. This building has never been a residential building. It is within an area which I would describe as an area in transition, approximately 75 meters to the west. On the south side, the city recently approved a redevelopment of a Green Pea parking lot at 1113 to 1125 Dundas Street West for a 10-story residential building with commercial at grade. Within the residential zone nearby on Dundas Street, there are 2 eating establishments which have been approved and operate. 1068 Dundas at Shaw Street and 256 Crawford at Dundas. Those are approximately 50 to 100 meters to the east of this property, and those were put into what were originally residential buildings. Dundas Street to the east of this property is developed on the north side with a series of previously purely residential dwellings, and over time 11 commercial establishments have been set up between Shaw Street and Beatrice Street, which is 3 blocks to the east. I'm not going to go through each individual business, but there's a variety. Some are eating, some are retail, some are personal services. Within 100 meters of this established property on Dundas, there are 5 restaurants, including one quite famous, 1132 Dundas, the Lakeview Diner, which operates 24 hours a day. So this is an area on one of the city's main streets. It is an area in transition with a lot of change reflecting more intense uses where it's reasonable along Dundas Street. The reason for this application now is that the owner had some difficulty leasing the property previously. It is currently leased to a fitness gym, which is operating, but the owner has consistent concerns about the future of this property and would like some additional permissions in place. I know there is opposition to this application. As the chair mentioned, there's 2 pieces of correspondence. Transportation Services has no objection to the application, and given some of the objections by some of the neighbors related to noise and other issues, I contacted Municipal Licensing and Standards last week to ask whether there are any active investigations or whether there have been any notices of violation issued in the last 2 years for this property. And no notices of violation were issued, and there are no active investigations. So in terms of the city's view on the compliance of the property with municipal bylaws, that is the information that I have to share with you. Again, it is a historically commercial property in an area that has a wide range of uses, even within the R zone, and in an area that is changing quite a bit over the last few years and is likely to continue to change with the relaxation of city's rules around development on main arterial roads like Dundas Street, allowing for taller buildings, allowing for, as of right, multiplexes throughout the city. This is a reasonable request for a property that is currently operating commercially and in good standing with the city.
Thank you, Mr. Milchin. We'll now move to the folks in opposition. Are they all online, Stanley?
Through the chair, 3 of the 4 registered speakers are online, and we've made multiple attempts to locate the speaker from 20 Halton Street, but was unsuccessful.
Okay. Let's move to the first one then, and...
Okay, we will unmute the speaker from 10 Halton Street.
Good afternoon.
Hi, my name is Jamie Weil. I live at 10 Halton Street with my family, my young family. We've owned that house since December 2008. Listened to the agent tell his story about this property. I have had noise issues with them before. I've never logged a complaint, but I will note that it is a gym and it is not a restaurant. So I think the noises coming from the restaurant are a lot different than the noises coming from a gym, especially when it comes to closing time. And the story about the establishment at Shaw and Dundas, that's a coffee shop. And the Lakeview that's been there and is open 24/7, doesn't have any houses backing onto it, doesn't have anybody's backyards backing onto it. It's a commercial building in a commercial area. This is not in a commercial area. The back of that establishment is surrounded by backyards of the neighbors who actually live here. And the reason I and my neighbors are protesting this is for the exact same reasons that we protested this suggested development in 2019. We don't want the noise, we don't want the garbage, we don't want the smells, and we don't want what's coming when this restaurant turns into a club after restaurant hours are closed. And parking is already a nightmare in the neighborhood. It's like the Hunger Games, which is made worse in the summer when Cafe Toronto was initiated. And it's going to be made worse when the Maynard nursing home is converted into an apartment building, which the city allowed to proceed, 48 units with 5 parking spots. And it's going to be made worse when the Green Pea at the corner of Ossington and Dundas is converted into affordable housing and 4 Green Pea parking spots are eliminated. This neighborhood does not need another restaurant, and certainly not one that backs onto my backyard. So I am not in favor of the conversion.
Thank you very much, sir. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, just thank you for giving me the time to voice my concerns and complaints about this proposal.
Thank you very kindly for participating. Thank you. Can we move on to the next speaker?
Through the chair, we will be unmuting the speaker from 250 Shaw Street.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Ms. Fong, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, good afternoon. You have 5 minutes to make your case, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and committee members. My name is Mimi Fong. I'm speaking on behalf of my mother, who lives at 250 Shaw Street, sharing a property line with this site. My mother's 91. She had a stroke in 2019, and since around April of 2022, she's had to live with the daily assault of noise and vibration in her own home because this business refuses to properly soundproof their building for their CrossFit gym operation. They run classes and drop heavy weights in concert consistently and persistently, starting at 6:30 a.m., which is not even the legal start time. This is the equivalent of having heavy construction machinery operating in the back of your house. The only difference is that this has been relentless for the past 4 years. We are here to state that this application fails every test of the Planning Act. It's a massive commercial intensification that threatens the safety of a community that includes a primary school, a nursing home, and a center for the physically disabled. It is important for this committee to understand that our community is not anti-business. For over 35 years, the same building operated as an auto body shop. And despite the nature of that business, we never had a single complaint against that longtime neighbor and owner. They respected the neighborhood, and the building functioned perfectly within the residential fabric. The current issues with noise and vibration only began with this current owner and tenant. This proves that this building's current failure to contain nuisances is a structural accident. It's not a structural accident. It's a result of management style that prioritizes their business with total disregard for the nearby residents and community. The fact that a 35-year industrial use building generated 0 complaints while this current owner and tenant generates constant friction tells the committee that the issue is with this current owner and tenant. The owner's first application for an eating establishment was denied 6 years ago, around January 2020. Since then, they have operated a CrossFit gym that sends structure-borne vibrations into our homes, appearing to rely on the fact that noise enforcement for this new category, vibrations, is an unfamiliar process. We also note their pattern of timing these applications, often over long weekends, to minimize resident engagement and public oversight to quietly push through a significant zoning change. They have demonstrated a lack of good faith. We are deeply concerned if this is granted permanent permission. There is nothing to stop this 7,500 square foot space from morphing into a high-intensity bar or lounge. This is a regulatory risk we cannot afford. The 7,500 square foot request fundamentally violates bylaws 569-2013 and 43886, which require businesses in residential zones to be small and ancillary. An example would be Pizza Bedalia near 181 Dovercourt Road. At only 1,300 square feet, it has already wreaked havoc on its corner and sidewalk blockages and litter. The applicant is asking for nearly 6 times that size. If a 1,300 square foot shop can disrupt the community, a 7,500 square foot venue will permanently destroy this one. This is a regional scale hub being forced into a zone where it does not belong. This applicant would like to claim that they need this variance to upgrade the building. The owner does not need a variance to soundproof. They need a variance to intensify, and they've had years to fix the vibrations and have chosen not to. The purpose of this committee is to uphold zoning protections which were created to identify and protect residential neighborhoods and the health and safety of residents that live in the community. The property abuts Maynard Nursing Home, Gibbons Shaw Public School, and the Bellwoods Community Center for Community Living. These are sensitive receptors who rely on sidewalk accessibility and environmental quiet for their daily safety and health. We are already overserved and surrounded by eating establishments, with over 700 eating establishments in close proximity within walking distance. The one along Queen Street West, Ossington Avenue, Dundas, west of Ossington. And then if you go the other way towards Bathurst, there's eating establishments.
Sorry to interrupt you, Ms. Fung. Sorry to interrupt you, but could you wrap up?
Okay, sure. Everyone, including my 91-year-old mother and area residents, deserve the dignity and quiet enjoyment of their own homes in a residentially zoned neighborhood. To grant this variance would be to reward 6 years of underhanded tactics at the expense of our most vulnerable neighbors. We respectfully request that you refuse this application in its entirety. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, do we have one more person?
Through the chair, we will be unmuting the speaker from 35 Rothsay Avenue.
Thank you very much. Lisa, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
If you can get your name and address, please.
Yes, my name is Lisa Rocha. I reside at 35 Rothsay Avenue in Etobicoke, and I'm representing my parents, Duarte and Fatima Rocha, who reside at 246 Shaw Street.
Thank you. You've got 5 minutes to make your case.
Okay, my parents have lived in their home for 40 years. They also reside there with my aunt who has special needs and depends on stable and predictable and quiet environment. And their garage directly faces the parking lot at 14R Halton Street, which is used by the Academy of Lions Gym. Their home is one of the closest properties to the gym's uninsulated roll-up rear door, which opens directly onto the public laneway. I want to be really clear about the human impact of what's happening here. The gym's operation has been severely damaging to the mental health and well-being of nearby residents, as you heard from the previous objections. Also, I want to make clear, this is an objection. On the website, it was corrected to be stated as an objection letter, not a concern. So it's not a concern, it is an objection. The gym operation has been severely damaging to the mental health of residents, including my parents and aunt. As mentioned in the previous objection, every weekday beginning as early as 6:30 a.m., they're subjected to the continuous heavy barbell drops and vibrations, loud bass music. These are not occasional, they're repetitive, sustained, and foreseeable. They travel through the laneway and directly into the homes and backyards, and they have no relief in the place they should be most protected. I know the representative of the owner stated that there's no ongoing investigations and records of complaints. That's completely untrue. There have been so many complaints. There have been calls to have people come out and do investigations. So there's been countless complaints. I don't know where that's coming from, but there's been so many complaints from residents. I can't even tell you. We are here to formally object to the minor variance for 1083, 1085 Dundas Street West. That would allow it to be zoned as an eating establishment. While we would support a quiet, reasonable retail use, responsible, that respects the surrounding residential community, we cannot support this application as proposed. What is particularly concerning is that the committee has already ruled on this issue, but the owner continues to bring applications every year or two to chip away toward their goal of getting zoned as an eating establishment. When residents and past committee of adjustment rulings have clearly indicated this would not be an acceptable use. In September 2020, the committee explicitly refused to allow this space to be zoned as an eating establishment, they stated the general intent and purpose of the official plan was not maintained. The general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw was not maintained. The variance was not desirable for the appropriate development of the land, and critically that the variance was not minor. Again, the representative of the owner stated that the neighborhood is changing. A lot of the things he mentioned have been in place for many, many, many years. Some of the recent changes, he's talking about the green P, but a lot of the things he's mentioned have been there for decades. And so it hasn't really changed since the last Committee of Adjustment ruling in September 2020 on it being an eating establishment, not in this particular area. So those conclusions that they made are just as valid today. And despite the committee's prior decisions, the owner and current tenant have demonstrated that they are completely disregarding conditions and approvals, and they have no indifference to the harm their operations impose on the residents. There's no soundproofing that was promised. The rear door that's explicitly prohibited from patron use is regularly used. The fitness activities are actually planned and sanctioned by the existing tenants, spilling into the public laneway, creating blind corners and serious safety risks. They have races and all kinds of activities out there. There's a portable sauna trailer in the parking lot at 14R Halton, further expanding their operations beyond what's permitted. And the committee specifically had said in September 2021 that the parking lot is for staff parking only. It's actually being used with a sauna trailer. In that context, approving a variance that introduces or enables an eating establishment dependent on a residential laneway cannot reasonably characterized as minor. The impacts are obvious and irreversible. So increased deliveries, rideshare, traffic congestion, threatening my parents' only access to the garage, particularly during the winter where there's already a lot of difficulty getting in and out. Restaurant creates a risk of evening and late night noise. They've already demonstrated they have every intention of letting people go out to the laneway and back door, the patrons. Loitering, odor impacts, rodent and pest activity, any rear or patio or laneway-oriented activity would fundamentally alter the residential character that this committee has already determined must be protected. And then once granted, those permissions cannot be taken back, as we've learned the hard way, that nothing that happens
Lisa,
after...
you have 30 seconds left.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
If this application enables the continuation or expansion of the current gym operations, it will have devastating consequences. In closing, we respectfully urge the committee to uphold its 2020 decision and deny the application. The rationale has not changed. The harm to residents has become undeniable from all the actions since 2020. And based on this past conduct, the community cannot rely on assurances in good faith alone from this owner. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, I think that's the last.
Through the chair, I was able to locate the fourth speaker
Okay.
from 20 Halton Street. I'm going to unmute that person.
Thank you.
Good
afternoon, Mr. Whipple.
Yes, it's Mr. Whipple at 20 Halton Street. Thank you all for all of your time and effort on our behalf. We appreciate it.
Thank you. You have 5 minutes to make your case. Thank you.
Well, just to say, I've made my case in writing since 2020 and since the original in-person hearing. My neighbors have eloquently made the case for me. There's little more to say except to speak to a couple of the landlord and his representatives' points. One, this is a 7,400 plus square foot space. There is no restaurant remotely that large in the entire area. No event space, nothing. It backs onto a residential area, but not just that. Halton Street is the release valve between the wonderful developments and businesses on Ossington and Dundas West and Trinity Bellwoods Park. And we are these few caretakers, or so to speak, of that space. And we have been subject to, let's just say, poor landlordian management of a tenant. Setting that aside, let's speak to the current issue. A restaurant, let me say this. We were offered, the community was offered, a fitness club. We ended up with a CrossFit gym where the dropping of barbells on an untreated floor essentially was unexpected and unenforced. The building is crumbling. There are photos in my presentation about that. And where are we at now? Proposal for a restaurant in a building that can barely support itself, in an area where there's no such space this large, where garbage and all of the other issues, parking. I'm surprised Transportation Services was cool with this, because a large eating establishment will attract, hundreds of people. So we'll have a big parking issue. And there's a TTC stop right there on Dundas. I don't know how they're going to manage deliveries in the midst of that. We are in celebration of local business, celebration of increased density, celebration also of balance. We're a mixed-use street in a mixed-use area that is, as the presenter said, in transition. But we want to keep that as a positive transition. There are no restaurants of this proportion, remotely like this, anywhere near us. And the history of working with, positively as we can as a community, for over 6 years, working with this tenant and representative of the landlord, has been largely negative. Defaulting to the terms of bylaws that are difficult for the city to enforce is kind of a lowbrow way of approaching things. So I think if our community is going to be in support of a massive change like this, we need to see evidence that the current change can actually be managed in this environment. And that's the reality. I mean this in the most positive way. I'm speaking not just for myself, not just for my nearby neighbors who are a U-shape around this. For every person who visits, every future resident, every participant in the economic growth of the area, and every living thing that cannot speak, animals, birds, right down to to the biota. We have to keep this area green, safe, clean, and positive as we grow it. The city needs to grow.
Mr. Whipple, you have
So-
30 seconds left.
Thank you. So really, we want to work with whomever owns that building and whomever is leasing that building. But their proposal proposes that the current tenants, you have to read it carefully, will actually be running this eating establishment. With this history, it's as one of my neighbors said so eloquently, it's a hard no from us. Thank you so much for listening and for all the work you do. We value our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Whipple. Thank you kindly. Would that be the last of the speakers now, Stanley?
Through the chair, we have no more speakers.
Wonderful, thank you. Mr. Milchan, it's all yours, if you don't mind responding to the concerns that you've heard.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So on one point, I never said that there were no complaints. I said that whatever complaints there have been in the last few years, to my knowledge, were investigated by municipal licensing and standards and did not result in any notices of violation. And that there are no current, as of last Thursday, no current investigations underway. There might be investigation starting today. I can't comment on that, but I shared with the committee the information that I received from a municipal official. Some of the photographs that I saw, I'm not sure that they actually represent this property. They might represent other situations along the rear laneway of behind this property. But notwithstanding that, it is a large building. It is a commercial building. It was built as a commercial building, and it's difficult to utilize the full space for a single use necessarily. The existing operation did receive from this committee permissions for an eating establishment in up to a quarter of the building. They haven't utilized the entirety of that, but they're utilizing it as a juice bar, beverages and smoothies and so on. This committee also granted them permission for retail, and they are using a portion of the retail currently, a portion of the building for retail related to gym clothing, water bottles, etc., those types of things. I can tell you there is no tenant that I'm aware of immediately in the offing for a restaurant operation, but the owner wants to retain the flexibility that if the building were to become vacant again, that they would have the ability to find a tenant, whether it's eating establishment, another fitness gym, retail, in a very difficult commercial real estate market to ensure that the building could continue to be occupied. I have nothing further unless you have questions.
Thank you very much. Mr. Lombardi's got a question for you.
Oh, I have many questions. So first of all, thank you for attending. And I noticed that in this application, you simply have a zoning waiver, correct?
There was a zoning review conducted, I believe, in 2019. So we've simply worked off of that one. The bylaws haven't...
So the answer is you don't have a zoning examiner's notice, you have a waiver?
There is a zoning, this application is on the basis of a zoning waiver.
Okay, and
yes.
you're comfortable that waiver includes all the variances you require?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is a legal non-conforming use, building, et cetera, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and the zoning is R, residential?
Correct.
All right. I will give you that this stretch of Dundas Street West is designated a major street in the official plan. Are you aware of the recent approval of the Neighborhood Retail and Services Study through an OPA and zoning bylaw 1507-2025?
Not in full detail, but I'm generally aware that the city was looking at how to allow more commercial uses within residential areas, yes.
So this application has not been reviewed against that most recent planning policy that's been approved and in place?
Not by me, but I had, when the application was filed, community planning did reach out to me with questions, and if they had concerns related to planning policies, I assume they would have submitted a memo to committee.
All right. Are you aware that in that planning initiative, which has resulted in an OPA and a zoning bylaw, that the city is allowing and acknowledging that a broad range of retail, service, and office uses will now be permitted on what's considered a major street? However, are you aware that the wording through the study that was preceded the OPA and the zoning bylaw talks about major streets and eating establishments on major streets on the edge of geographic neighborhoods on residentially zoned sites?
I haven't read the staff report in quite some time, so I'll take your word for that, sir.
So you're not aware that it says that eating establishments are to be considered small scale as envisioned by the city?
I'm generally aware of the direction that study and resolution by council dealt with, yes.
So in that study and the subsequent planning policy, the maximum interior gross floor area that was recommended for a restaurant use in the particular context of this proposal and this site is a maximum of 150 meters squared, which is roughly 1,600 square feet on any site on a major street. Not aware of that. Okay. All right.
I'm listening to you, sir.
Okay, and last question. Can you speak to the history of this application? And by that, I mean, there have been 4 applications brought forward to the Committee of Adjustment since 2019. There have been 3 approvals. Well, first in 2020, there was a refusal. And in 2021, 2023, and 2024, there were approvals. But I'm trying to understand, and I'll use a colloquial term that I'm comfortable with, and it seems to me that the applicant or owner of this property is trying to get variance approval by 1,000 cuts. Can you address that?
The owner of the property would like maximum flexibility for the future use of this property for commercial purposes.
All right. Mr. Chair, those are my questions. I'll say I'm not going to support this application. 7,492 square feet or 696 meters squared is not what the OP considers as small scale eating establishment on a major street in abutting a geographic neighborhood that's zoned residential.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lombardi. Any other questions or comments? None? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I remember the last decision that came forward, and it was for the eating establishment, but the limit, I forget what the area of the eating establishment was supposed to be, but it was a small fraction of the larger space.
171 square meters.
Correct, I saw it just now. And the idea of expanding it to presumably 3 times, 4 times that, it's pretty large. So I think there is a challenge that we're facing with this particular application. I appreciate that the owner's got a property, trying to find an appropriate use, but it seems like the owner may be clutching at straws. So I find it difficult to also approve this particular application. I'm not sure what my colleagues will take it into committee now, and I'll listen to my colleagues and see what you have. Okay?
So a lot of, sort of competing interests on this one. I'll take the agent's word, and I think he's right, that this area is in transition. And it very well may be that there will be an increasing portion of commercial and or retail and or restaurant along here. But it's not there now. And Dino I wasn't frankly aware of that. I think, what Dino talked about in terms of small scale versus large scale was an interesting point. This is a major street, Dundas, we all know it. It's right around the corner from Ossington. Ossington is chock full of restaurants. I don't go there very often myself. I don't know what the size of them are, but my sense is that they're medium, they're not like large restaurants there. And Ossington has a very long track record of redevelopment, but also some conflict with the surrounding neighborhood as well. And I think that, to a certain extent, has been resolved. I think the size of the conversion is an issue, given that context that Dino raised. I would also, even though it's not necessarily related to the variance, I recall when this was here before, and there was a long line of people opposed to this application, in part because what we heard about today was the noise and the sort of nuisance factor that was expressing itself on the adjacent residential area. And it sounds like that hasn't been resolved. I remember specifically having a discussion about weights and the noise associated with dropping weights. And I remember having this, I looked in the condition to see if we did anything on conditions. We didn't, I don't think we could. But I think we had an agreement with either the agent or the owner at the time that there would be measures put in place to minimize the noise associated with the gym function. It doesn't sound like that's happened, given that there are neighbors still very concerned with that. So when I first read this, I thought, yeah, that seems to make sense. This is an area that's in transition. Restaurants are good things. It's on major transit. It's close to a very robust retail and restaurant and nightlife area. So it makes some sense. But I'm not sure, given what I heard, that it fits necessarily where the city is trying to go. And quite frankly, I would rather be in a position to have a discussion about this if, in fact, there was a real change of use rather than a preemptive zoning request. Just asking for a zoning change for the maybe prospect down the road that there might be a restaurant seems inconsistent with, trying to fit in with the neighborhood. So it feels like, the owner might want to do some outreach and maybe some mitigation measures to address the concerns of the surrounding neighborhood, which would grease the wheels for making a change in the future that might actually be a little bit more acceptable and might be a little bit more consistent with the city's vision for these kinds of facilities on major streets. So I think I'm probably leaning towards a no on this one.
Thank you, Mr. Clay. Mr. Reid, sorry.
Thank you, Chair. I agree with a lot of both of your comments, and specifically you, Larry. Like, I came in thinking I was going to support this. But the sheer, and I think the preemptive kind of use permission is a real problem for me, because we're not seeing how the space would be laid out, where the kitchen would be, where the exhaust, like where those impacts would come from, if that roll-up door would still remain, right? And I think those are fundamental questions about not just the use, but how would this place operate and what would those impacts then be? And then it's very hard to put any kind of attenuation measures on a hypothetical situation. At the same time, this is, you both said it, this is a major street, an avenue, like, and it's one of those weird parts in the West End where, yeah, you have just houses on a street that is highly served by transit. And going back to impact, I remember when this was a garage for many, many years, and, you know, they'd work with the rear door open, but obviously that we're a good neighbor to their, to the immediate area. I think that's the clear message that we got from the neighbors. So I understand the challenges of this owner trying to fill a space that large in a context that is still residential. But I agree that I think this is premature, and so I can't support it.
Thank you, Mr. Reid. Just one comment that I'd like to add before I ask for somebody to make a motion. I was just looking at the first decision, September 2020, and it's exactly the same request to convert the auto repair shop at the time into a restaurant for the entire space, and it was refused at the time. I don't know the arguments that were presented at the time, but it was refused, and I'm glad that Mr. Lombardi provided that piece of information that he did. So yeah, I wouldn't be in a position.
Yeah, I just add that I will say that the planning environment has changed since then, in the last 5 years, quite dramatically. And it may well be that the focus on major streets and avenues and transit supportive development has overtaken some of the concerns that might have happened in the past. So I think the neighbors and residents should anticipate that there will be a change of use to this facility coming forward. It would be really good if the owner sharpened up exactly what he or they are planning to do, give us something a little more concrete, and, I think do a little bit of outreach to sort of, address some of the concerns, at least from the current use that has really gotten under the skin of the neighbors.
Thank you, Mr. Clay. I'd like to look for a motion now, if I may. Mr. Lombardi, would you like to move?
Sure.
Take the lead.
Yeah, let me preface my motion by saying that I agree with the comments I've heard from my colleagues. This is a major street, and I understand that the extensive work that the city staff did in the preparation of the neighborhoods and service study that was recently brought forward to Planning and Housing Committee and Council and resulted in an OPA and a zoning bylaw. I support small-scale retail, commercial eating establishments in neighborhoods on major streets, and to some extent a smaller subset in internal neighborhoods. And I think the planning regime and the planning policies have evolved over time, and they continue to evolve. So, I'm not opposed to eating establishments or restaurants of a small scale along major streets. And again, it depends on the context. But in terms of this application, I see the key variance as variance number 1. And again, I'm trying to be consistent. It's tautology at both the OLT and the T-Lab that if the key variance fails any one of the 4 statutory tests in the Planning Act, the application, all of the variances fail. And so that's my position. So I'll move a motion. By the way, before I do that, I also think that the Committee of Adjustment likely isn't the right avenue to pursue this request. I will move a motion to refuse the application and the 5 variances. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lombardi. Do I have a seconder? Mr. Reid, thank you. All those in favor of refusal? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Milchan, for being here.
Thank you. You've had a long day. It's almost done.
Take care. Okay, we're moving on to item number 31, 23 Poplar Plains Crescent. Purpose of the application to alter the existing 3-story detached dwelling by constructing a rear 2-story addition above the existing rear 1-story addition with rear Juliet balconies at the 2nd and 3rd stories. The existing rear 2nd-story outdoor terrace will be converted into habitable space, also to construct 3rd-story dormers and a new front porch canopy. Committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, revised site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 7 photographs of trees on the subject property, covering letters from the agent, an arborist report, presentation materials from the agent, and correspondence in support from 25 Poplar Plain Crescent.
Through the chair, we have the agent here in person and no registered speakers.
Thank you very much. We have before us a single variance, and it's an FSI. Do we have anybody in opposition? There's nobody, just one support, I believe.
Through the chair, there's no speakers.
You're right.
Just the agent.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Barrett. Name and address, please, for the record.
Good afternoon, committee members, Mr. Chair. My name is Graham Barrett. I'm a planner at Bousfields. We're at 3 Church Street, Toronto.
Thank you very much. We don't have anybody in opposition, as mentioned. But let me see if my colleagues either require a presentation or would like to go into questions or not.
Yeah, I feel bad. You've come down, you've sat through quite a long time. I feel like you should get your airtime, but we don't really need a presentation. It's pretty straightforward.
Well, I'm fully prepared to give one if you'd like, but I understand.
We don't need one, but if there's anything you'd like to flag with us, please feel free.
There's really nothing to add beyond what's already been submitted in my cover letter and revised cover letter, and it's really nothing to add. It's quite a straightforward application.
I think we're fine.
Thank you. We'll take it into committee. And Mr. Clay, perhaps you might.
Yeah, sure. Again, this is FSI only, right? So this is, it's a big lot. I think the lot can quite easily handle the 2-story addition on the rear. No setback variances, no height variances. So I think it's a quite reasonable application. I'll move approval with no conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Clay. Mr. Lombardi seconds. Thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your unanimous approval, sir. Thank you.
Tell your client you spent hours here and back and forth. And
next time it'll be a big, long presentation. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Take care. Okay, item number 32. Pardon me. Item number 32 is 385 Salmon Avenue. Purpose of the application to alter the existing 2-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a front 1-story addition, a porch enclosure. Committee had before it following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, elevations, 3 photographs of the subject property. And we have before us, where are we? A total of 4 variances, which all look fairly minor. Again, it's a porch enclosure, which is not uncommon in our part of the city. Okay, Mr. Perez is the agent. Mr. Perez.
Through the chair, we have the agent online and no registered speakers.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Perez. Name and address, please.
Morning, committee member. My name is Eddie Perez. I'm at 537 Rogers Road. As you pointed out, we're enclosing an existing veranda that's very common in the area. pretty well all the variances are existing, the coverage is existing, the soft landscaping, there's hardly any space, that's also existing. And the only variance that we're pretty well asking for is the GFA and the front yard setback, which is very minor as well. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. Let me just see if my colleagues have any need for presentation or would like to ask some questions. Seeing none, Mr. Perez will take it into committee and render decision.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Who would like to take this one? Mr. Reed, thank you.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, this is another front porch enclosure, and as you said, there are many of those in this part of the city. And the variances being requested are, as Mr. Perez said, are mostly existing conditions. There's no negative impacts associated with this, and I think the variances are minor. So I'll move approval without condition.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Lombardi, thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. You have a unanimous approval, Mr. Perez. Thank you. And finally, we have item number 33, pardon me. Item number 33 is number 2, Grandview Avenue. Purpose of the application is to alter the existing 2.5 story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a rear third floor addition with a balcony. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, elevations, covering letter from the agent, and decision number affecting the subject property, and an arborist's report. And the agent we don't have anybody in opposition or the speakers.
Through the chair, we have the agent online and no speakers.
Thank you. All right. Mr. Smith, are you there?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Jay Smith, agent for the application. My address is 2493 Frankfield Road.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. We don't have anybody in opposition. This is a very straightforward application, single variance, an FSI request. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions. Right, Mr. Lombardi has a question.
Just very quickly, one question. The third floor balcony, does it become smaller than the one that currently exists? And you call it an egress balcony, meaning what?
Through you, Mr. Chair, being under the Ontario Building Code, we have to provide an exterior balcony for a third floor due to limiting distance for travel. So in this case, what we've done, and if you look at SD9, the third floor plan, we've actually done an inset balcony. So as much as we go to the main rear wall for the bulk of the addition, we have inset at the rear for that requirement for OBC, and it also stops any overlook to the neighbors on the sides.
Okay, and I'm looking at SD11, and it looks like there's a privacy screening or a railing, and it does look smaller than if you look at the existing third floor balcony. Is that correct? Is it smaller?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, significantly.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments? No? Yeah, I think this is, we've been blessed with a very straightforward application as the last item for the day. We'll take it into committee and look for a decision. Who would like to take that? Mr. Lombardi?
Yeah, no, this is a fairly straightforward, it's one variance for FSI increase. Committee of Adjustment 2015 approved an increase to 0.7646 times. So this is really an increase of about 21.2 square meters of additional FSI. It's minor in nature, in my opinion. It's in keeping with the approved FSIs in the immediate context, and the flat roof design minimizes the massing impacts on abutting properties. So I'll move a motion to approve the application and the one variance. I don't think there are any conditions of approval.
No, I don't see any either. Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Clay, thank you. Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Unanimous approval, Mr. Smith. Thank you very much. And with that, we end the day at 5:09 PM.